The 49ers' answer to losing the Super Bowl was to get more explosive in the 2024 NFL Draft. This is the Draft Room with DP. We're going to break down the San Francisco 49ers draft class, right? And were they able to move the needle, right, towards winning a Super Bowl? And we're going to start with their first round pick, Ricky Pearsall, because we know that pick was very important. That pick appears to be potentially a Brandon Ayuk replacement. So I want you to break down Ricky Pearsall and how he fits into this offense.
I think he gives Brock Purdy a quick winning option. Positional versatility is key in this offense, right? Can you play the X? Can you play the Z? Can you play the slot? Can you work out of bunch sets? Go in motion? Ricky Pearsall can do all of that, guys. But also remember that Ladd McConkey was the one that was originally tabbed to them leading into the draft. So when there was smoke, there is fire.
They went with size, right? Because Ladd McConkey was a little bit shorter, right? And then Ricky Pearsall, like we said, he probably fits more of the athletic profile for Brandon Ayuk. So if you're talking about salary cap, right, you're talking about potentially trading a guy like Brandon Ayuk, I think Ricky Pearsall potentially could fit into his offense. And for me, even when I watched Ricky Pearsall, I always seen one guy. I seen Puka Nacua, one of those big physical guys, but he's even a little bit faster. So he's a guy that can take the top off of a defense. So I really liked Ricky Pearsall. And listen, rolling through the rest of this draft class, right, they were able to get Ronaldo Green, both one of our favorite cornerbacks, right, a tough, scrappy guy. And then they were able to get Dominic Puny, a guy that was able to improve this interior offensive line, improve this run game. We know how important that is to Kyle Shanahan, but we're going to stop the bus. What did I say at the top of the video, DP? Explosiveness was the theme, and they drafted one of your favorite guys, Arizona wide receiver Jacob Cowan. Let's talk about how he fits in his offense, because I think we had yet to see a small, explosive, shifty wide receiver in this Kyle Shanahan offense.
It feels like for the last couple years, that's the one piece that we always felt was missing from Kyle Shanahan's offense, right? The long ball, the deep ball, the explosive plays that wasn't generated by Christian McCaffrey. Jacob Cowan is going to bring in sub 4.4 speed into this offense, the ability to take a drag route, a crosser, an in cut, a slant, and take it 80, right? He's a run at the catch weapon that also runs really good routes as well. And when you think about a team that runs the ball the way that San Francisco 49ers do, get that play action going, right? Get Brock Purdy, hard play action, deep set into a pocket, a clean pocket around him where he could then throw anticipation down the field and let a guy like Jacob Cowan, he's one of those guys that have the type of speed, you kind of just let it go out there and let him go get it.
Yeah, I think Jacob Cowan he's going to be so multiple in how he can help this offense. And the reason why is this, that it seems like in pivotal moments at this point in Deebo Samuel's career, he's injured, right? And we talk about the Super Bowl. It may just be only 20 plays, but that's important 20 plays. You do not get those 20 plays back in the Super Bowl. So I think Jacob Cowan is not only going to fill that role, but who does he remind me of? Seattle Seahawks. Tyler Lockett, right? So he's going to be able to be one of those guys, like you said, take the top of a defense, but then also work the middle of the field. And I'm going to be honest, I know we kind of have differences about Kyle Shanahan, but I trust him to use this type of offensive weapon. But listen, we're going to park this bus here, because the standard for the San Francisco 49ers is not making the playoffs. The standard is not making the Super Bowl. The standard is winning the Super Bowl. So I'm going to ask this question right now. What the San Francisco 49ers did in the 2024 NFL Draft, is it enough to win a Super Bowl?
I think it depends, right? Which one of these star receivers are you going to lose? If you lose Deebo, do you feel comfortable with Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowan being able to mitigate that loss, right? If you lose Brandon Ayuk, who a lot of people view as the only true wide receiver on this team, then it's a little bit of an uphill climb. But I'll say this, if they keep both of those guys, or at least keep one of them with these weapons, I think the biggest thing, as we know, what throws off man coverage? Speed, right? It strikes fear in defense. And I think with the speed that they added with Pearsall, his 4.41, with sub 4.4 with Jacob Cowan, I absolutely think that it could push them ahead of the pack. And they're already ahead of the pack. Just push them a little bit closer to that Lombardi. And I think it will help this offense a lot.
Yeah, that is a goal. And I agree with you from that perspective. And if you have to ask me, if I'm making roster decisions, right, sitting in the draft room, we've had our draft already. If I'm making roster decisions, to be completely honest, I'm keeping Brandon Ayuk. I'm sitting down with him. I'm figuring out what's going on, because I just feel like the injuries with Deebo Samuel, while he's not injured all the time, he's injured at very pivotal moments. And I think that Jacob Cowan can replace some of those things that he do as far as those jet sweeps, jet motions, manufactured touches. And we forgot about the all-pro guy, George Kittle, right? We forgot about this as an offensive weapon. So listen, we're going to wrap this up, and we're going to hand out a draft grade for the San Francisco 49ers. So DP, what grade do you give the 49ers?
49ers got a real solid B, Keith. I think they were solid all across the board. Got some guys that can come in and do some things right out the gate in a multitude of different ways, right? You may not rely on them for 100% of the snaps at these receivers, but they can be interchangeable pieces and move around this offense. And Kyle Shanahan is arguably the greatest mind in football on the offense side of the ball.
There we go. The San Francisco 49ers. You gotta be, but will that be enough to win a Super Bowl?